My dog and lead draft analyst Kyle Crabbs over at the 33rd Team dropped a brand new 2025 first-round NFL mock draft on Monday, and we got to talk about it. Some brand new names, some different team fits, some new players to discuss how they're progressing through 9 weeks of college football action and how these damn NFL teams through 8 weeks are looking in position to grab a couple of these guys. I'm excited for this one. If you stick around to the end of the video and you find the information actionable and or entertaining, that subscribe button for your boy. It helps the channel grow. I know a lot of y'all watch, but there's still quite a few of y'all that are not subscribed. Do that for your boy. Help the channel grow. Hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. But 2025 NFL mock draft review right now. Let's get it. All right, y'all, let's pull it up, and we're just going to go through the offensive skill position players and quarterbacks from this mock. I'm going to let you know where Kyle has these guys projected, the team, and then we'll discuss them for a little bit. So let's pop this thing off. Number 1 overall, Kyle Crabbs has Cam Ward out of Miami heading to the Carolina Panthers. We know what's happening in Carolina right now. It is not good. They have just traded away Deontay Johnson. They drafted Jonathan Brooks. They probably don't even want to play him due to the fact that this team is going to finish with the worst record in the NFL. They've had to put Bryce Young back in at quarterback with no weapons, played arguably his best game of his career versus the Denver Broncos, but this does not feel like a team that is going to move forward with Bryce Young as their leader of that team in the future. So here goes Carolina in a very interesting predicament. Do they roll the dice on a class where a lot of people feel like this is a down quarterback class, a down draft class, or do they point to a different position? Maybe take a Travis Hunter, go after offensive line, one of the 2 tackles from Texas, or Will Campbell. But in this mock, Crabbs has him going with Cam Ward. Right now, Cam Ward, 3rd in the country, 91 QBR, 5 interceptions to 24 touchdowns for Ward in 2,746 yards. At 6'2", 225 pounds. He's got the prototypical size. He has experience. He's played a lot of time in college. This is a player that has grown on me, and his stock has risen more than anybody in this 2025 class this year. Based on the transfer, based on his play, Cam Ward right now positioning himself to be the top pick in the draft. And the debate between Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, maybe another quarterback, we'll talk about that here in a second, because at number 2 overall, the Tennessee Titans, they opt for their quarterback of the future. And we know that that situation is bad right now with Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. Will Levis will not and should not be the starter next year. But should it be Colorado signal caller Shedeur Sanders? That is who Kyle Crabbs has mocked to the Tennessee Titans. I'm not sure what type of coach Callahan is, what type of offense that he wants to run. Tennessee would be a nice spot in the AFC South for Shedeur Sanders. You've got Calvin Ridley. You've got a rushing attack with Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard in the backfield. You've got to upgrade the skill position around those guys. But there's something in the cupboard. It's not completely bare in Tennessee, and they do have a very competitive defense. Shedeur on the season, 2,591 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 23rd in the country in QBR. They have him listed at 6'2", 215 pounds. I'll tell you right now, he looks a little bigger than that. And I love the way that he's able to put the ball in accurate positions down the field. The downfield accuracy from Shedeur is very evident when you watch the tape. My biggest issue with him, that one of the things that I think he will have to clean up, the off-script stuff. He gets away with a lot of spinning outside the pocket right now, extending plays, but I don't think he's that level of athlete to consistently get away with it at the next level. So hopefully he gets in a good system where they coach, hey, hit that back foot, let the ball go. Shedeur in Tennessee, interesting fit, a team and player fit that I have not seen a lot of, and Tennessee definitely looking like a squad that's going to need a quarterback next year. And I kind of like Shedeur in the AFC South. Him and C.J. Stroud would be fun to watch for the next couple of years. So Shedeur goes number 2 overall to the Tennessee Titans, and Kyle Crabbs next up has Travis Hunter, Shedeur's teammate, the Colorado Heisman hopeful wide receiver cornerback, being drafted by the New England Patriots. This is a common player team fit that we've seen consistently throughout just about everybody's mocks early on. Hunter probably will play both ways at the next level. Drake May in limited duty. It's looked pretty damn good for the New England Patriots. So it seems like they have found their quarterback of the future in Drake May. Get him some weapons. We know he needs some. Jalen Polk not working out right now. Kayshon Boutte. You've got Hunter Henry, Pop Douglas. They need somebody else. With Christian Gonzalez already on the defensive side as the CB1, I wonder if this selection would lend itself towards Hunter playing more wide receiver than defensive back. I still think personally he's a slightly better wideout than he could be corner. So if he were to get drafted by the Patriots and play full-time wide receiver, I would love this fit. Talked about this on the channel in the summer. If there were going to be a wide receiver to challenge Tet McMillan for wide receiver 1 or Luther Burden for wide receiver 1, back in July, I told you it would be Travis Hunter. Here we are, number 3 overall to the New England Patriots. Next up, Kyle Crabbs has the Las Vegas Raiders at 7, selecting LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. And this is a fun one. This is a fun one because the Garrett Nussmeier train left the station for the first half of that game this past Saturday versus Texas A&M, and then it kind of went away in the second half. It was a tale of two halves for Garrett Nussmeier. But this is a guy, again, I'm just telling you the facts. In July, I said if there were going to be a QB to push for QB1, Garrett Nussmeier is my dark horse pick for QB1. You see him here at 7 overall, not QB1, QB3, but a very firm inside the top 10 in the first round. I like it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't believe that Garrett Nussmeier is going to declare. You watch what happened in the second half of that game. He needs experience. He needs time. We're already seeing right now in the NFL these quarterbacks that lack experience. You're not getting that time to figure that shit out at the next level. You need to come in with some semblance of what you need to do, knowing how to play the quarterback position. And Garrett Nussmeier can do that, but he just has not seen a lot of things. So I think this is a quarterback who's 100% going to come back to college for another season. So I don't believe he's going to be picked here by the Raiders. But 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the season for Nussmeier, 2,600 passing yards, and 12th in the country in QBR. So he's been a really good quarterback for LSU, really good. And if we were to project next year, looking ahead to 2026, if Garrett Nussmeier stays back, does not declare, I think he would be the lead candidate for QB1 in that draft class. Like the pick, just don't think it's going to happen, Kyle. Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns, who get some outside help at receiver as they select Arizona standout Tetairoa Mcmillan, my wide receiver 1, absolute freak, pterodactyl in living human form right now. On the season, the 6'5", 215-pound junior has 57 catches, 982 yards, and 5 touchdowns. This comes on the heels of a down type of season for Tet. Noah Fifita and Arizona's offense, they have not looked the same under this new coaching staff. Fifita's actually looked like he's taken a step back this year playing quarterback. But McMillan, when you see him on the field, there's no doubt about it, this big dude he's like a lost art at receiver. You just don't see players this big, this fluid, this fast, this explosive, this good after the catch. The Browns got a lot of issues. They got a lot of damn issues. The quarterback position is a problem, a big problem. And I don't know if Deshaun Watson plays for them ever again. So you're right here at this spot. No quarterback on the board you feel good about. You opt for a skill position player and you build around your young core of Ced Tillman, Tet McMillan. You've got David Njoku, Nick Chubb. You kick quarterback down the line. Maybe this is a spot where Sam Darnold gets a 1 or 2 year deal to come in and be a bridge quarterback. Would love it if the Browns had Sam Darnold or Joe Flacco with Tet Tillman, this offense. Like the pick for Cleveland. I think this was a sharp pick, not forcing quarterback here at number 8. Good stuff, Kyle. All right, now I've got a big problem with this pick. Big problem with this pick because I love the player, and I don't want to see the player wasted in Dallas. Kyle Crabbs at number 13 overall has the Dallas Cowboys selecting Ashton Jeanty, the all-world running back out of Boise State, the running back that I believe is the best running back prospect we've seen hit the NFL probably since Saquon Barkley. He's that good, and I know he plays at Boise State. He's that good. He's that talented of a running back. But this Dallas Cowboys team, this Dallas Cowboys offense, they need a hell of a lot more than Ashton Jeanty, and I don't quite know how he would fit in an offense where the O-line is average to below average. Defensively, they cannot stop anybody, which puts them in bad game scripts to where they have to throw the football. I don't want to see Ashton Jeanty waste and utilized in Dallas. I would love it as a fan of the team, but for fantasy, for NFL fandom, I just, right now, the way the Dallas Cowboys are set up, I would not like the selection of Jeanty for Dallas. They've got a lot more pressing needs than a running back, and let's not forget, this 2025 running back class is extremely deep. Omarion Hampton, you got 2 studs at Ohio State and Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. You've got Woody Marks out of USC. You've got Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton at Penn State. Kyle Monangai out of Rutgers. We haven't talked about Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State. Donovan Edwards. I mean, the class and the list of running backs goes on and on. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, a fast-rising running back. So I just think that any team that, if you want Jeanty and your team is set up to utilize his skill set, then draft him. But the Dallas Cowboys, way too many holes to fill than to be picking a running back 13th. Next selection, and we get another interesting pick by the Arizona Cardinals because they go wide receiver again and select Luther Burden in the first round, and this is after drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. You look across from Marv, Trey McBride seems to be working well. I think Michael Wilson is a competent number 2. Luther Burden, love his game. He's a fun player. I like watching him play. I never thought he was the top receiver in the class because I think he does a lot of things that I've just been burned by in the past. A lot of yak ability, big play stuff after the catch. I want to see you run a complement of routes. I want to see you do stuff over the middle of the field, hitch, outs, goes. Those are some of the things that I want to see Burden doing. So many times we've seen these yak merchants in college hit the next level, and you just can't out-yak the NFL. You cannot out-yak NFL defenders. Rondell Moore, Jalen Reagor, Tavon Austin. It looks fun in college, but you have to be able to do some real receiver shit, which I think Burden can do. Now, Missouri doesn't ask him to do a lot because they're just like, get the ball in his hands by any means necessary. I like him in a complementary role. I think this would be a good fit. He would not be the one. He'd be prioritized as the 2 to 3 to maybe even 4th option with McBride, Marv. You still have got a strong running game and another receiver, but I like the talent of Burden. Think it would be a good fit, help Kyler Murray out some. I'm just not as high fantasy-wise on Burden right now, and this fit probably wouldn't do anything to change those feelings. Another wide receiver was selected in this mock for the Denver Broncos at 21. They get Bo Nix some help by adding speedy playmaker Isaiah Bond out of Texas. Isaiah Bond right now, and I didn't even give you the stats for the other guys, but let me give you Bond. 23 receptions, 380 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Jeanty, the ridiculousness that is him, 159 carries for 1,379 yards and 18 TDs, averaging 9 yards a pop. Ridiculous for Ashton Jeanty. Just absolutely insane. But this pick of Isaiah Bond to Denver feels like some projection, right? Because Bond's been a little banged up this year. Back-to-back weeks, the past 2 games, has not done anything. 3 catches for 16 yards, did score a touchdown versus Georgia. But when I watch him play, when he's healthy, when he's moving around, and when Quinn Ewers is on his game, Bond reminds me of Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. He's got that type of speed, explosive playmaker, downfield threat. He's not just a short area yak guy. He does play down the field. 5'11", 180 pounds. Again, this feels like a name that we know, a name that we feel like should be there, but the production doesn't line up. So it'd be interesting to see how Bond's season plays out. Does he declare? Where do the scouts and evaluators have him? I think this is probably appropriate. A later first, back end first, high second round pick. I can see Bond going in that range where, Keon Coleman, potentially Ladd McConkey went, Xavier Worthy towards the back of the draft. Good pick, and I would really like this for Bo Nix. Say what you want about Nix, but what he's been doing over the past couple of games, he is just continuing to stack games and get better and better. Good for Denver, good for Bo Nix. I like the pick for Bond fantasy-wise. We'll see. We'll see how Bo Nix progresses, but I do like this fit in Denver with Sean Payton. All right, we got 3 more offensive players to tap into. This one probably the most controversial of them all, especially seeing what's happening right now in Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson. But Kyle Crabb says the Pittsburgh Steelers going quarterback at 25, and the quarterback they select, Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. Jalen Milroe, right now 13th in the country in QBR, 1,900 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and we know he can run the ball. That's a big part of his game. So far on the season, he's got 102 carries for 380 yards and another 12 touchdowns for Jalen Milroe. So rushing, there's no problem. I mean, he is a dual threat quarterback. He's already at the touchdown number from a rushing standpoint that he had last season. The issue is the throwing. We're seeing these quarterbacks come into the NFL that we always talk about. They need a little time to develop, Give them time. I agree. Give them some time. but I'm not a GM and I'm not a coach, and it doesn't seem like they're allowing these young kids to have 2-3 years. You need to come in ready to go. You need to come in having seen single high versus two high. You need to come in understanding how to change protections at the line of scrimmage. We'll teach you some shit when you get here, but we don't have 2-3 years to develop and pour into you completing a short area target. If Milroe can't get better and improve upon his consistent playmaking ability from the pocket, it's going to be problematic for him. And this is why, again, much like Nussmeier, it felt like Milroe could be one of those hidden gems that sneaks through the process, balls out this season, gets drafted high and developed. I'm not sure he declares. I'm not sure that's even in his best interest to come out. And does Pittsburgh really want to go down this path again? Do they really want to play this game again on the heels of Fields, Kenny Pickett? I don't think so. This is one pick I don't agree with. I don't think Pittsburgh wants to go this route. And the way that Russell Wilson is playing right now, shit, if I'm Pittsburgh, if he can continue to keep them atop the AFC North, how can we bring him back on a cheap Geno Smith type deal for another season or two? So this Milroe pick, don't really like this one. I don't believe he's a first-round quarterback, and I'm kind of on the fence if he declares at all. Now, as much as I don't like that pick, Kyle's last two picks, absolutely love him, and this one might be my most favorite pick of this entire first-round mock, especially from the offensive side, and it's getting Jaden Daniels, another playmaker on the outside. In this pick at number 29 overall, the Washington Commanders select Tre Harris, the big wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Didn't play last week, but Harris on the season, 59 receptions, 987 yards, 6 touchdowns, averaging almost 17 yards a catch. Another big wide receiver at 6'3", 210 pounds. Tre Harris, downfield, short area, sure-handed speed, and he's been around for a while. Adding this player to this offense with Jaden Daniels, the rushing attack of B-Rob, Austin Eckler, Terry McLaurin, and the tight ends, it only makes the Commanders better. I love this for Daniels. I think this would be a great fit and pick in Dynasty rookie drafts of Tre Harris. And the final pick, y'all know it ain't a mock without either a receiver, a running back, or a tight end going to the Kansas City Chiefs. And this one does make a lot of sense because Travis Kelce is getting a lot older. So they upgrade with the tight end one in the class out of Penn State, Tyler Warren. Absolute beast, freak. Penn State is freak factory as far as athleticism, and they've got another one at tight end right here at 6'6", 255 pounds. Tyler Warren, split him out, flex him, inline, run blocking game. He does it all. 47 receptions for 559 yards, 4 TDs on the season. Big statement game coming up this weekend against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Tyler Warren is a stud. My favorite tight end in this class. Should be tight end one and should walk into the NFL and have Sam Laporta levels of impact for the Chiefs, especially if Travis Kelce starts to wind this thing down. Love the pick by the Chiefs. So there you go. One round offensive skill position players and quarterbacks from Kyle Crabb's at the 33rd team. Again, link to that mock is in the description of this video. If you stuck around to the end, found the information actionable and or entertaining, the thumbs up button, like the content, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think about these landing spots, these fits, and these players. And until next time, man, y'all be easy. I'm out of this thing. Peace.